At 9 weeks pregnant, I had abdominal pain and bleeding and called Fu Jingchuan 27 times. But he didn't answer any of them. I went to the hospital alone, signed the forms, had blood drawn, and waited for the results. When the child was lost, the doctor asked me, "What then?" Just as I was about to speak, my female colleague Song Tang sent a video call. In the private room, Fu Jingchuan lowered his head to put the necklace on her. She smiled at the camera. "Sister-in-law, don't be jealous." Jingchuan said, "Today is my birthday, so he'll be mine tonight." At the end of the video, everyone teased and proposed a toast. Fu Jingchuan didn't refuse. Half an hour later, he finally called back, his tone impatient. "What's wrong with you again, Fu Jingchuan?" "I'm at the hospital." A soft, cutesy voice came from that end. "Brother Jingchuan, the cake is ready to be cut. Let's blow out the candles together." He breathed a sigh of relief. "You were able to go to the hospital yourself, so it's not serious. Xiao Tang just started at the company. I can't leave her behind." I clutched the synchronized sterility report. "Our child is gone." He was silent for a second, then lowered his voice and scolded me. "Do you have to say this now? Are you going to ruin her birthday?" The nurse handed over the surgical consent form. "Some of you won't come, so you can sign it yourself." I looked at the name on the brand bar and signed with a smile. After the surgery, I sent a message to my lawyer. "Divorce agreement. Better tonight." Fu Jingchuan came home at 3 in the morning, just as the anesthetic wore off. I was in pain and couldn't sleep, so I leaned against the bed drinking warm water. When the door lock activated, my hand trembled slightly. Water gushed out of the cup, scalding my hand. "Cigarette." Fu Jingchuan walked in through the door, still carrying the scent of alcohol and sweet cream. He saw me, and paused for a moment. Still awake, I looked up at him. He had his suit jacket slung over his arm, the tie loosened, and 2 shirt buttons undone. A faint redness was on his neck, like the trace of lipstick. I stared for a few seconds, then recovered my sight. "I can't sleep." Fu Jingchuan placed the restaurant on the entrance cabinet. "What did the doctor say?" "This comes too late." I didn't even react. I put down the water cup. "The surgery is done." He was silent for a moment, walked to the bedside. "I'm sorry. I didn't know it would be this serious." I wanted to laugh. I called him 27 times. I sent 6 messages. The first one was, "My stomach hurts very much." The second one was, "I am bleeding." Article 3 is, "Fu Jingchuan, you can't answer the phone." The last one is, "The child might not be saved." He didn't reply to any of them, yet he managed to comment 3 minutes after Song Tang posted on his friend's circle, "Longevity is the greatest." Fu Jingchuan saw that I didn't speak and frowned. "Nanji, don't do this. Things have already happened. What's most important now is to take care of your health." He said it calmly, as if handling a work report. I nodded. Fu Jingchuan seemed to sigh with relief. Reaching out to touch my forehead, I noticed it with a sidelong glance. His hand stopped midair. "Still in business." I looked at him. "Fu Jingchuan, the child is gone." His expression froze. "I know, but the doctor also said, your body is still young. There will be more in the future." This sentence is like a dull knife. Not sharp, but it grinds flesh and blood. I stared at him for a long time. He got a bit annoyed by my gaze, and his tone became serious. "I didn't mean that." "What do you mean by that?" Fu Jingchuan rubbed his temples. "I'm very tired today too. Xiao Tang's birthday. Everyone in the department is there. I can't let her lose face." "Xiao Tang." I repeated it softly. "When did you two get so familiar?" Fu Jingchuan paused. "She just joined my team. I took her project." "Everyone calls it like that." I didn't respond. The phone suddenly lit up. It was a screenshot sent by a mutual friend, from Song Tang's new WeChat Moments post. In the photo, she stands beside Fu Jingchuan, the necklace on her neck. The caption reads, "24th birthday. Received the most special gift. Thank you to that stubborn but soft-hearted person." Below, someone commented, "President Fu's wearing. So envy-inducing." Song Tang replied, "Shoo. Don't let sister-in-law see." Fu Jingchuan obviously saw it too. His expression changed, and he reached for my phone. I noticed it. His voice sounded somewhat unnatural. "Colleagues were joking. Don't take it seriously. Was it delivered tonight?" We bought it together as a department. Why are you putting it on her? Fu Jingchuan finally lost patience. Everyone was teasing at the time. I couldn't let her feel embarrassed. I couldn't let her feel embarrassed. So he could let me sign alone in the hospital. Let me lie on the cold operating table. Let me wake up without even a single part beside me. But Song Tang cannot be embarrassed. I suddenly felt it was pointless. Fu Jingchuan. Do you know when the doctor asked me and how I answered? He looked at me without saying a word. My advantages. I told you so. Fu Jingchuan's expression suddenly darkened. Su Nanji. I closed my eyes. I'm tired. Let's go out. He stood by the bed, his chest rising and falling for a few moments, before finally saying coldly, "You are currently emotionally unstable, and I can't relief." After speaking, he took the bag back. When I heard the sound of running water, I picked up my phone. Lawyers have replied to the message. The agreement can be drafted. Property, deposits, vehicles. You should clarify first. I looked down at those words. Then he stood up and dug out the most basic marriage certificate from the nightstand. The red cover was very new. We've been married for 2 years. It was proposed to come 3 times. First to get certified. The second time for buy. A house. The third time. It's now. I am seeking to send to the lawyer. And added another sentence. Quick. The bathroom door opened. Fu Jingchuan wiping his hair came out. He paused when he saw the marriage certificate in my hand. Did you take this? I put the marriage certificate back in the drawer. Calm tone. Nothing. Fu Jingchuan stared at me for a few seconds, asking thoughtfully, but my phone rang. He glanced down and picked up abruptly. His voice was much gentler than before. Xiaotang. What's wrong? The other end didn't say anything. Fu Jingchuan sighed. Don't cry. I'm not blaming you. She didn't feel well and was easily irritated, which was normal. Listening to his comfort, I suddenly didn't feel the pain anymore. It turns out that when a person's heart cools down, their body's genes follow suit and become numb. Fu Jingchuan hung up the phone. Seeing me looking at him, he explained. Xiaotang saw you didn't like the post on WeChat Moments and thought you were angry. So she got scared and cried. She is timid. Don't target her. I smiled. Good. Fu Jingchuan was slightly surprised. It seems I agreed so quickly. I pulled up the blanket, turning my back to him. I'm not targeting her. I'm targeting you. The next morning, Fu Jingchuan cooked congee for me. This is the first time he cooked after getting married. When the clay pot was placed on the table, there was still a faint ring of dark blue around his eyes. Get up and have something to eat. I supported the wall as I walked out. The lower abdomen still aches as if someone is pulling the meat inside downward. Fu Jingchuan saw me walking slowly and reached out to help. I noticed it. His hand, which had been stiff, was withdrawn again. Does it still hurt? And where's the medicine? I pointed to the coffee table. Fu Jingchuan walked over and glanced at the medicine in the bag. So many. Anti-inflammatory medicine, pain relievers, and things to promote recovery. He ohayed and placed the medicine bag back in its original spot, not disassembled, nor asked how to eat. Sat down at the dining table. Red dates and longans were added to the porridge. Very sweet. I just took a sip, and my stomach immediately churned violently. Fu Jingchuan frowned. Don't like the taste. Doctors say to eat less sweet and greasy fairy tales. He was stunned. I don't know. I put down the spoon. It's fine. I used to always think that Fu Jingchuan was just careless. He couldn't remember my menstrual cycle. He couldn't remember I shouldn't eat too much sugar. He couldn't remember I was allergic to pollen. I can't remember the unpleasant smell of smoke after I was pregnant. I found too many reasons for him. He's busy with work, under a lot of pressure. Men don't care anyway. But the next moment, his phone vibrated. Fu Jingchuan lowered his head to look through, and immediately stood up. I'm going out to buy some things. 10 minutes later, he came back. The prescription is holding a bag of breakfast. There's also a cup of hot milk. I thought it was for me. He could put the item on the entryway cabinet and take a photo with his phone. When sending the voice message, his voice was very soft. I got it. A non-spicy sandwich. And hot milk. You have a sensitive stomach. Don't drink coffee on an empty stomach. I sat at the dining table, looking at the bowl of sweet congee, and suddenly laughed out loud. Fu Jingchuan. What are you laughing at? I sighed. Nothing. He finally reacted. Looking a bit embarrassed. Xiaotang had too much to drink last night and has an upset stomach. I nodded. Do you remember she has a bad stomach? Fu Jingchuan frowned. Can you not be so sarcastic? Su Nanji. I'm not. She's just a young girl. She's been in Beijing for not long. She doesn't have family around her. What's wrong with my boss taking good care of her a bit? I looked up at him. I am your wife. Fu Jingchuan choked. After a few seconds, his voice softened. I know. Nanji. I didn't do well yesterday. He walked over to me, crouched down, and held my hand. Once you have recovered your health, we still want a child. I looked down at his hand. Last night, I put headphones on Song Tang. It also didn't answer the phone when I was having surgery. I pulled it out bit by bit. Not necessary. Fu Jingchuan frowned. What is not necessary? I didn't answer. The phone rang. It was Mr. Chen from above. At first, Mr. Chen's voice was very low. South Indigo. The project in Germany. You said before that you were planning to get pregnant and didn't consider it. Still want to go now? I glanced at Fu Jingchuan. He was staring at me. His eyes alert. I turned and walked to the balcony. Willing. Chen Zong clearly breathed a sigh of relief. That's great. This project cycle is 1.5 years. And the position of deputy director at the headquarters is basically stable. Just the departure time is very urgent. Next Monday. Okay. Chen Zong paused for a moment. Are you okay? I gripped the railing. A cold wind blows. And there's a faint pain in the abdomen. No problem. After hanging up the phone, Fu Jingchuan stood at the door of the balcony. What project? Work related. How long? 6 months. His expression was somber. Su Nanji. You've just had surgery. And you're leaving the country. I asked back. Do you mind my body? Or do you mind that no one washes your clothes, cooks for you, or deals with your mom? A flash of annoyance crossed Fu Jingchuan's eyes. Do you have to talk like this? I was looking at him. What should I say then? Thank you for finally remembering to cook a bowl of porridge for me that I can't drink after the child. Fu Jingchuan felt a pain in his chest. I've already apologized. Is an apology useful? He was silent. I entered the bedroom and started organizing the documents. Passports, ID cards, bank cards, and property deeds are all the same. Fu Jingchuan arrived, saw the suitcase I had opened, and his expression became even more unpleasant. Are you serious? I folded a piece of clothing together, and Fu Jingchuan walked over and grabbed the lid of the box. Xuanan Garden. Don't use work as an excuse. You just want to punish me. My actions are obvious. Fu Jingchuan. You think too highly of yourself. His expression darkened. What do you mean? I looked up at him. It means I didn't leave to make you feel bad. I did it for my own good. Fu Jingchuan was startled. Hope this is the first time you've heard me put myself first. It wasn't like this before. When Fu Jingchuan worked overtime, I would stay up until midnight to leave a light for him. When he had stomach pain, I would take time off to deliver medicine to the office. My mother said sarcastically that I haven't gotten pregnant in 2 years of marriage, while I explained with a smile that it's because I'm too busy with work. Later, she finally got pregnant. I thought everything would get better, but the child didn't come that day. He was celebrating a birthday with another woman. Fu Jingchuan softened his voice. Nanji. Stop playing around. I took the afternoon off to accompany you for a follow-up check. His phone rang again. The name Song Tang popped up on the screen. Fu Jingchuan's first reaction was to turn it off. The phone rang again, fast and loud. When he woke up for the 3rd time, he finally answered it. What's wrong? The voice of Song Tang beside her held a sob. Brother Jingchuan, my stomach hurts really bad. It's probably acute gastroenteritis. Fu Jingchuan's expression changed. Where are you? Song Tang choked back a sob. Below the company building. I don't dare to go to the hospital alone. Fu Jingchuan glanced at me. I calmly looked at him. His tears stirred. South Indigo. I'll go see her first. She was alone outside, and I couldn't rest assured. I nodded. Go then. Fu Jingchuan seemed to sigh with relief, but also felt some guilt. Let's double check if I'll be with you tonight. I didn't speak. He picked up the skirt and hurried out. After the door closed, the house fell silent. I sat by the bed and called the hospital to cancel the afternoon checkup. Then I sent a message to the lawyer. Add a clause The house is mine. The car is his. And it will be divided according to the proportion of contributions made during the marriage. Lawyer asked. Does he agree? I noticed the pair of leather shoes Fu Jingchuan forgot to change at the door. I replied. He will. Because soon. He didn't care about disagreeing anymore. Fu Jingchuan didn't come back all night. 7 a.m. The door lock rang. I just printed out the divorce agreement and am about to exchange the file folders. The door opened. And Song Tang was the first to come in. She was wearing a light pink sweater and had a black coat from Fu Jingchuan over it. Under my feet is my pillar. Seeing me, she paused for a moment, then immediately found an expression of panic. Sister-in-law. You're awake. Fu Jingchuan followed ahead, carrying medicine and breakfast. He saw me sitting in the hall, with a somewhat unnatural expression. Xiaotang got her 4 too late yesterday, couldn't get into the dormitory access control. So I brought her back to rest for a while. I looked at the support on Song Tang's feet. They were bought for me by my mother. The sole is embroidered with 2 small camellias. Song Tang lowered her head following my gaze and suddenly pulled her foot back. I'm sorry, sister-in-law. I didn't know this was yours. Fu Jingchuan frowned. Bottom of the column. I looked up at him. Did I say something? Fu Jingchuan froze. Song Tang bit her lips gently. Her voice was very soft. Brother Jingchuan. Don't get angry with me and sister-in-law because of this. Maybe I should just leave. She said this and took 2 steps. But her body was still swaying. Fu Jingchuan immediately supported her. Don't push yourself. That grappling move was glaring. I lowered my gaze and shoved the divorce agreement into the file folder. Fu Jingchuan saw it. What is that? Working document. He stared at me for 2 seconds and didn't press further. Song Tang sat down on the sofa and reached for on the coffee table with ease. That was my cup. Fu Jingchuan said unconsciously. That cup. Song Tang had already taken a sip. She blinked. Can't we use it? Fu Jingchuan glanced at me. It's fine. I watched him. And he noticed my gaze. Song Tang seemed to be unaware of the atmosphere. The cup laughed. Aunt, the water in your house is so sweet. I said lightly. It's medicine. Song Tang's face turned pale and he quickly put down the desk. Fu Jingchuan frowned. What medicine? Restored. He froze for a moment. At this point, I realized that I am also someone who just came back from the hospital. Song Tang's eyelids turned red urgently. I'm sorry, sister-in-law. I really didn't know. I'm so thirsty. Fu Jingchuan sighed. Nanji. She didn't mean it. I nodded. She didn't mean to wear my chandelier. Didn't mean to use my cup. And didn't mean to keep you out all night. Fu Jingchuan's expression darkened. Are you done talking? Song Tang stood up. Brother Jingchuan, don't be harsh with your sister-in-law. She just had a miscarriage and her mood isn't good either. Suddenly, it became quiet in the living room. I slowly turned to look at her. Song Tang realized he had said the wrong thing and his face instantly turned pale. She looked at Fu Jingchuan. Fu Jingchuan's expression also froze. I was looking at him. Did you tell her about my miscarriage? Fu Jingchuan swallowed. She asked you why you're angry. And I casually said a couple of things. Casually. I stood up. A sharp pain in my lower abdomen. I gripped the edge of the table to steady myself. Fu Jingchuan. That's my body. My privacy. And also our child. Decent. What right do you have to tell her casually? He frowned. She's not a stranger. After this sentence fell, I suddenly lost my voice. Not a stranger. Is that me? Song Tang's tears fell down. Sister-in-law. Don't blame Jingchuan. He was very uncomfortable last night. Drank a lot of alcohol. And kept saying sorry to you. I was just keeping him company. I looked at her. Going to the dormitory gate together. Song Tang blushed. It's not what you think. Fu Jingchuan blocked her path. Su Nanji. Don't say things so harshly. She's only 24. She doesn't understand anything. I laughed. 24 years old and you don't know how to wear someone else's wife's lantern. Don't understand not being able to use someone else's wife's cup. Don't understand not being able to call a married man away in the middle of the night. Song Tang cried even harder. I really just thought of Jingchuan as an older brother. I don't have an older brother at home. So he's a bit kinder to me. And I get tired of relying on him. Hearing this made my stomach churn. However, Fu Jingchuan seemed to soften. All right. Stop crying. He pulled out a piece of paper and handed it to Song Tang. That box of tissues was right by my side. I was sweating cold last night. Tried several times but couldn't reach it. Fu Jingchuan didn't see. Now Song Tang dropped 2 tears. He saw it. I walked to the entrance. Bent down and picked up a bag from the shoe rack. Put the crane Song Tang just took off into it. Song Tang looked at me blankly. Auntie, what's wrong with you? I tied the bag tightly. Got it. Don't need it anymore. Song Tang's face flushed. Fu Jingchuan's voice turned cold. Sinan Garden. Don't be too divided. Too far. Did I really look at him? Fu Jingchuan. I haven't asked you yet. Why does she know the password to our house lock? Head of Fu Jingchuan. Song Tang spoke first. It was last time when Jingchuan brother got drunk. I took him home. He was afraid I couldn't get in. So he told me. I looked at Fu Jingchuan. He did not deny it. My chest feels as if it's being squeezed hard. Turns out. When I didn't know. Song Tang had come to this house in advance. Even more than once. I walked to the door and pressed the smart lock setting. Started changing the password. Fu Jingchuan grabbed my wrist. Do you understand? Change password. Is it necessary? Yes. I shook off his hand. Song Tang stood beside her. Whispering. Sister-in-law. Are you too sensitive? Brother Jingchuan just feels sorry for me being alone in the capital. You're already married to him. Why still fight over these small things? I stopped my actions. Then slowly shifted. Looking at her. Song Tang. She was pushed back a step by me. I said. I didn't tell you. Don't touch my husband. Don't touch my things either. Song Tang's tears stopped instantly. She stood in place. Her face alternately blue and white. Fu Jingchuan was also stunned. Because I had never been so blunt in my speech. Before. When he took female colleagues to social events late at night, I would say to be careful. Because Song Tang was stunned and left me alone at the in-laws' house. I was also silent with the in-laws. Even when Song Tang first called him Brother Jingchuan. I didn't show displeasure. I gave him dignity. I also gave Song Tang dignity. But dignity, when given to someone who doesn't understand limits, is just indulgence. Song Tang looked at Fu Jingchuan with wide eyes. Jingchuan. I didn't mean to. I really didn't know the sister-in-law would mind so much. Fu Jingchuan frowned tightly. Ndi. Xiao Tang has already apologized. She's still a little girl. Why must you say it so harshly? I was looking at him. She's 24. I'm 27. Fu Jingchuan. You're 3 years old. You should use your age as a veil for her. His expression darkened completely. Song Tang cried so hard she trembled. Never mind. I'm leaving. She grabbed her bag from the sofa and stumbled towards the door. Fu Jingchuan immediately followed her. Your body isn't healed yet. Why are you walking? Song Tang lowered her head. Her voice choked. I don't want to make the sister-in-law misunderstand. I know. I shouldn't have come. I really felt bad last night. I just thought of you as an older brother. Fu Jingchuan's expression grew increasingly unpleasant. He turned to look at me. Su Nanji, are you satisfied? I didn't answer. I just threw the cup that Song Tang used into the trash bin. Clang! The porcelain cup broke. Fu Jingchuan was suppressing anger in his eyes. How have you become like this now? I smiled. Because the child is gone. His expression froze. I continued. Because when I was lying on the operating table, my husband was celebrating someone else's birthday. Because when I was in so much pain that I couldn't stand up, he was worrying about another woman crying. Fu Jingchuan's lips moved. South Indigo. Song Tang suddenly covered her stomach and bent over. Brother Jingchuan. I'm so hurt. Fu Jingchuan immediately supported her. In that moment, all guilt vanished from his face. He was left with only urgency. I'll take you to the hospital. I stand still, watching them. Fu Jingchuan walks to the door, then turns back. Wait for me to come back. And we'll talk properly. Don't cause more trouble. I nodded. Good. He didn't seem to expect me to agree so quickly. But Song Tang called out in pain again softly. Fu Jingchuan didn't hesitate any longer, taking her out of the door. The moment the door closed, the room became completely silent. I walked to the trash can, putting the broken cup into the bag. Then opened the computer. The divorce agreement sent by the lawyer has been revised. I printed 2 copies. Signed. With a fingerprint. After doing these, I called President Shen. The Germany project. Can I go there earlier? Shenzong hesitated for a moment. The earliest the day after tomorrow. Okay. There was a silence for a few seconds on the other side. Nanji, are you sure? I looked at the report slip on the coffee table that said embryo arrest. I'm sure. There's nothing left here that I need to stay for. The next evening, my friend Chin In called me via video call. Her voice was very low, but she was trembling with anger. Zhang Nan, guess who I saw? The screen switched. The convenience store entrance at the hospital building. Fu Jingchuan is tying a scarf around Song Tang's neck. Song Tang looks up at him, her eyes full of dependence. When Fu Jingchuan lowers his head, the distance between the two is so close it feels like they could kiss in the next second. Qin Yin cursed. You just had a miscarriage. And he's already dating that little green tea downstairs at the hospital. Is Fu Jingchuan even human? Inside the video, Song Tang suddenly realized someone was filming. Her expression changed, and she reached out to pull Fu Jingchuan. Fu Jingchuan turned back, saw the camera, and his expression instantly turned cold. Qin Yin, what are you taking a picture of? Qin Yin sneered. Take pictures of the scumbag men and women. Fu Jingchuan said in a low voice. Give your phone to Nanji. Qin Yin looked at me. I didn't speak. Fu Jingchuan stared at the camera, his voice softening. South Indigo. I'm going back tonight. We should talk. Don't listen to what others say. There's nothing between me and Xiao Tang. Song Tang stood behind him, her eyes turning red again. Auntie, I'm sorry. It's all my fault. Qin Yin almost laughed out of frustration. You're obviously not good. You're completely rotten. I finally spoke up. Fu Jingchuan. 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. Civil Affairs Bureau. His expression changed drastically. What do you mean? Divorce. Fu Jingchuan's voice was tight. Su Nanji. Don't be hasty. I watched him. I'm very clear-headed. He was about to speak when Song Tang suddenly covered his chest and leaned into his arms. Brother Jingchuan. I can't breathe. Fu Jingchuan instinctively held her. Watching this scene, I suddenly felt that even a final goodbye was unnecessary. I hung up the phone directly. At 9 a.m. the next day, I waited at the Civil Affairs Bureau until 9:30. Fu Jingchuan didn't come. At 10, he called. Voice was hurried and exhausted. South Indigo. Xiao Tang had an allergic shock last night. I couldn't leave. Let's talk about the divorce another day. I looked at the boarding pass in my hand and said softly. Not necessary. What is not necessary? I gave the divorce agreement to the legal assistant. Fu Jingchuan. I'm not waiting for you anymore. Fu Jingchuan came home in the afternoon. He thought I was still in a temper. Even bought a bunch of white roses on the way. That is the flower Song Tang likes. It's not what I like. I like sunflowers. But he never remembered. When the door was open. The room was very clean. So clean it didn't look like anyone had lived there. The vase on the dining table was empty. Half of my clothes in the closet were also missing. Fu Jingchuan's heart sank bit by bit. He hurried into the bedroom and pulled open the drawer. The marriage certificate. TE was gone. The passport was gone. My documents and bank cards are all gone. A file folder was placed only on the tea table. Fu Jingchuan trembled slightly and opened it. It was a divorce agreement. And my signed name. Su Nanji. The 3 characters landed on the paper. Neat and decisive. Without a trace of hesitation, Fu Jingchuan stared at the 3 characters and suddenly couldn't catch his breath. He took out his phone and called me. Shut down. WeChat messages cannot be sent. Text messages are also being intercepted. He finally realized that I wasn't bluffing. IR. Illy left. Fu Jingchuan sat on the sofa, his hand touching a medicine bag. He looked down. The bag contained painkillers, anti-inflammatory drugs, and post-surgery instructions from the hospital. The top of the first page reads, post-surgery requires family accompaniment. Avoid fatigue. Pay attention to emotional fluctuations. Family members accompanied. Fu Jingchuan felt a tightness in his throat. But those days, he accompanied Song Tang for 4 drips. Accompanied her for meals. Accompanied her to the convenience store to buy hot milk. He never accompanied me for the follow-up examination. Hasn't asked me how to eat either. There are still broken mugs in the trash can. He remembers that cup. It was bought when I just got married. I said one for each person. A couple's set. He thought it was childish and only used it once. Later, my cup was always placed on the coffee table. Song Tang drank from it. I threw it away. Fu Jingchuan suddenly raised his hand to cover his eyes. My phone rang. It was Song Tang. He didn't answer. The call dropped. Then rang again. On the third time, Fu Jingchuan finally picked up. Song Tang's voice was soft. Brother Jingchuan, how is your sister-in-law doing? Is she still angry with me? Fu Jingchuan was silent for a long time. She left. A moment of silence from Song Tang's side. Soon, she said with a sob, I'm sorry. It's all because of me. How about I go explain to the sister-in-law? Fu Jingchuan closed his eyes. Song Tang. She froze. Because Fu Jingchuan rarely called her that. Bro Jingchuan. What's wrong? That night, when Nanji called me, did you see? Song Tang's breath hitched. What? Put my phone on the table. Fu Jingchuan's voice was hoarse. I remembered later, before cutting the cake. You took my phone and said you would take a photo for me. She made 27 calls. Have you never seen it at all? Song Tang was flustered. I don't know. It was so noisy back then. I might not have noticed. Fu Jingchuan clutched his phone tightly. What about the message she sent then? She said she was bleeding. She said the child might not make it. Didn't you see? Song Tang cried out. I didn't mean to. Brother Jingchuan. I was just scared. I'm afraid you'll leave if you see her message. A black curtain descended before Fu Jingchuan's eyes. The heart is gripped tightly by someone, so he wasn't without a chance to answer the phone. It was him who handed the phone to Song Tang. It was Song Tang who saw it, but pretended not to see. What's most ridiculous is, he didn't even take the initiative to take a look. Song Tang is still crying. You lost your child too. You can't blame me entirely. Your sister-in-law is an adult. She can go to the hospital herself. Besides, didn't you remember she's pregnant? Fu Jingchuan's eyes snapped open. Shut up. Song Tang froze. Brother Jingchuan, stop calling me that. His voice was cold and devoid of warmth. Do not contact me again. Song Tang screamed. Why? Fu Jingchuan, you can't treat me like this. I like you. Fu Jingchuan was holding his phone when tears suddenly fell. But I don't like you. I'm just a bastard. I used your dependency to prove that Nanji still cares about me. I thought she would be angry, jealous, and would fight with me. I didn't expect she would reject me. After he finished speaking, he hung up directly, then blocked all of Song Tang's contact information. After doing all that, he lowered his head to look at the divorce agreement. Tears fell drop by drop onto the paper, but the names on the paper didn't blur. Su Nanji. She has already signed it. She won't wait for him anymore. Winter comes early in Germany. The project team has a fast pace. I was so busy that I didn't have time to think about the past. In the first month I arrived in Berlin. I almost had meetings every day, revised plans, and visited factories. My body recovered very slowly. Sometimes working overtime late causes a dull ache in my lower abdomen. Lena, the German girl in my group, who knew about it, often poured me hot water. She didn't say much to comfort me. She just seriously told me, Zhang and I, what's most important to you right now? This sentence made me stunned for a long time. I used to always think that in marriage, one should be understanding of each other. Fu Jingchuan is busy with work. I understand. His mother pressures for a child. I understand. He brings a new person. I understand. He made Song Tang sit in my passenger seat, use my cup, and come into my house. I also tried to persuade myself to understand, but no one ever told me. I am also very important. The day the project ended its first phase, a colleague from my team took me out for drinks. Lena introduced her friend to me with a smile. A blonde man raised his glass toward me. Sue, are you single? Everyone joined in the teasing. I smiled. It's almost time. After saying this, I felt much lighter myself. Coming back to the apartment, a person was standing at the door. Fu Jingchuan. He had lost a lot of weight, wearing a black coat, holding a paper bag in his hand. Seeing me, he flushed immediately. South Indigo. I stopped in my tracks. Lena beside me looked at him warily. Do you know her? I nodded. My husband. And added another sentence. It's not soon anymore. Fu Jingchuan's expression turned pale. Lena glanced at me. Do you need me to stay? No need. After she left, I opened the apartment door. Fu Jingchuan followed in, but didn't sit down naturally as before. He stood in the entryway, like an unwelcome guest. It was indeed not very welcome either. I took off my coat. How did you find here? Fu Jingchuan lowered his head. Your work email. I frowned. He immediately explained. I didn't look at anything else. I just saw the address and the project schedule. South Indigo. I'm sorry. I poured myself a glass of water. If you want to talk about a divorce agreement, you can directly consult a lawyer. Fu Jingchuan's eyelids were redder. I'm not here to get a divorce. I didn't say anything. He took out a box of medicine from the paper bag. I asked the doctor. This is for cooking. And this. He took out another thermos. You used to say you liked hot water, and I always thought it was a hassle. I understand now. I looked at those things in my heart. Without a single ripple, a late arriving medicine cannot heal a body that has already gone bad. Late concern also cannot mend a dead child. Fu Jingchuan's voice trembled. I know I don't have the right to ask for your forgiveness, but I still want to make things clear. I haven't had a relationship with Song Tang. I looked up at him. Do you think it's important? Fu Jingchuan froze. My advantages. Fu Jingchuan. I left you. Not because you didn't sleep with her. Because it was when I needed you the most that you chose her. Because you made my effective scanning interest. Because you treated our child as something you could have again in the future. His tears finally fell down. I'm sorry. I was wrong yesterday. I'm not concerned about the children. His voice choked. I'm just too accustomed to you. I thought no matter what I did, you would be there. I nodded. So now I'm not here. Fu Jingchuan looked up at me, his eyes full of panic. South Indigo. Give me another chance. I have already cut ties with Song Tang. I also announced the project with her. I won't let anyone cross you anymore. You want children. We can want them again. Hearing the last sentence, my stomach suddenly churned. I put down my desk. Fu Jingchuan. That child wasn't meant to prove we can still use the tools again. He froze completely. I watched him. I used to look forward to him. I bought little socks, made an inventory plan, and even thought of a nickname. He's gone. I sent him off alone. Fu Jingchuan covered his face and cried bitterly. I just felt tired. Go back. He looked up. South Indigo. I won't change the divorce agreement. The house is mine. The car is yours. And we'll divide everything proportionally. If you think it's unfair, we can go to court. The last glimmer in Fu Jingchuan's eyes shattered. He stood there for a long time, finally asking in a hoarse voice, do you really not love me at all? I was silent for a moment. I have loved, but I cannot live by loving you. Fu Jingchuan finally understood. I wasn't being childish. She wasn't waiting for him either. I really came out. He walked step by step to the door. Just before leaving, he finally looked at me. I need to sign. But Nanji, I will wait for you. I didn't answer. After the door was closed, I brought the medicine and the insulated cup paper bag. Early the next day, I sent everything back to China. After returning to China, Fu Jingchuan quickly signed the divorce agreement. When the lawyer notified me, I was verifying data at the factory. She said, Miss Su. Mr. Fu did not argue. He only made one request. I asked, what? If there are still things in the house, can they be thrown away? I was silent for a few seconds. Let him take them himself. Fu Jingchuan didn't go. That house completely summed me up. Before I returned to China, I asked Chinin to help me renovate it inside. All the things he had used were cleared out completely. The sofa was replaced. The dining table was replaced. The door lock was also replaced. I didn't leave anything behind that I could cherish him for. Instead, Song Tang called me again with a new number. Later, she cried until her voice was hoarse. Su Nanji, what did you tell him? Why isn't he talking to me? I went to the company to find him. He quit. I went to his house and moved him out. I just like him. What's wrong with me? I stood on the streets of Berlin, listening to her breakdown, not feeling anger, only feeling absurdity. You are certainly wrong. You know very well that he is married and still crossing boundaries. You saw my emergency call but pretended not to see it. Song Tang urgently objected. He didn't refuse me either. He bought me breakfast, accompanied me while I got in for, and put a necklace on me. He said I am not a foreigner. If he didn't like me, why was he so good to me? I'm holding my phone and say calmly, because he is selfish. He enjoys your admiration. And he also enjoys me being jealous of him. You think you've won me. In fact, you are just a tool to prove his charm. Song Tang Jiao Channel. You're lying. He loves me. I smiled gently. If he loves you. The one who is blocked now isn't you. The line went completely silent. A long time ago. She cried softly. I really like him. It's your business. Don't call me again. I hung up the phone and blocked the number. After a year and a half. The German project ended. I returned to my country and was promoted to deputy director. Chen Zong patted my shoulder at the welcome ceremony. You fought a good battle. Qin Yinfang rushed over. Xuanan Garden. Congratulations on rebirth. I smiled and took the flowers. They were sunflowers. Very bright. When I came back to my home which had been renovated. I stood at the door for a long time. The lights in the room were warm. A new pillar was placed in the entryway. There was only one cup on the shelf. Mine. The phone suddenly turned on. It was a series of unknown numbers. I didn't answer. The ringtone stopped. Then rang again. The third time. A text message popped up. South Indigo. I'm downstairs. I didn't mean anything by it. Just wanted to see how you're doing. I walked to the window. Fu Jingchuan stood there by the streetlight downstairs. Thinner than memory. And more silent than memory. He didn't sneak. He just held his phone and waited motionlessly. Just like I once waited in the hospital corridor for him to answer the phone. I watched for a while. Then pulled up the curtains. Then I deleted the messages and turned off the phone. I slept very well that night. Has not been to the operating room. Nor has gone to Fu Jingchuan. Woke up the next day. The windowsill was brilliant with sunlight. I cooked porridge for myself. No red dates. No longans. Warm. Light. Just right. When the doorbell rang. I thought it was the property management. Opened the door. But saw a young man standing at the door. He was wearing a white shirt. Holding a box of documents in his arms. A little embarrassed. She smiled. Hello Director Su. I am the new project assistant. President Chen asked me to deliver the materials to you. I took the documents. He glanced at the sunflower by my side. His eyes lighting up. Do you like sunflowers too? I froze for a moment. Then I smiled. I always thought that love was the truth of waiting for one person before. Later. I realized. Love can also be about walking forward oneself. Walking into the sunlight. Walk away from a place where you no longer have to wait for someone to answer the phone.